So, we're talking about equilateral triangles today. A little bit more about those. And the learning target is I can prove theorems and apply properties about equilateral triangles. All right, let's get going. So we're going to talk about a couple corollaries real quick. And a corollary real quick is a theorem whose proof follows directly from another theorem, okay? So we're going to talk about a couple of these. In the first one here, it says that if a triangle is equilateral, remember equilateral meaning all three sides are the same, then it also is equiangular. Equiangular. An equiangular, remember, means that all three angles are the same. They're equal. So then the second corollary is that if a triangle is equiangular, then it is also equilateral. They go back and forth. Both of them feed off of one another, okay? Let's do some examples of this. But the main thing that you want to understand is that when you have a triangle, if you have three equal sides, then those are three equal angles. And if you have a triangle and there's three equal angles, then you have three equal sides, okay? So for this first example, it says that we need to find each value, and for A here, we're trying to find the value of x. And we see here, the first thing we see is that this is a triangle that has three equal sides, which means that it is an equilateral triangle. And if we have an equilateral triangle, our corollary said that it is also equiangular, right? So that means that this angle is going to be the same as this angle and the same as this angle, okay? Which means that technically this is also 2x plus 32, and this is also 2x plus 32 degrees. So all we have to do is we have to know that all three angles in a triangle add up to be 180. So if we take 3 and we multiply it by that 2x plus 32, because that's what all three of these angles are, and set that equal to 180 degrees, then we will be able to solve and figure out what x is actually equal to. So let's go ahead and distribute first. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 32 is 96, is equal to 180. And then we got to subtract 96 from both sides. We end up getting 6x is equal to 84. Divide by 6 on both sides, and we get, finally, x is equal to 14. So that means what the value of x is 14. And if we take a look back at this, all we did is we knew that these three angles were all 2x plus 32, and that's why I could multiply them together. And I set them equal to 180 because all the angles in a triangle equal 180. Okay, and we got our value of x to be 14. For B, we're supposed to try to find the value of y. And we see that here that we have a triangle this time that is equiangular. Okay, and if we have an equiangular triangle, that also means that it is an equilateral triangle, which is saying that 5y minus 6 has to be equal to 4y plus 12. So all we have to do is set those equal to each other and solve for y. So we're going to first subtract 4y from both sides. Again, now we're just doing algebra. We end up getting 5y minus 4y is just y minus 6 is equal to 12. Add 6 to both sides, and you end up getting y equals 18. Y equals 18. Okay, so we found the value of y for B. We found the value for x for A. Let's go ahead and go on to this last example. Alright, example 2 just says that we have a yield sign, and we know this is what a yield sign is. If you haven't taken the driver's ed yet, you will, and you'll see yield is this sign right here. And it's an equiangular triangle, okay, which means, again, that all three angles are the same. Which means, our corollary said that if a triangle is equiangular, then it also is equilateral, which means that this n plus 6 inches has to also be equal to this 3n minus 10 inches. And we're trying to find what the lengths of the sides are. So we just have to set those two equal to each other. So let's go ahead and we've got n plus 6 is going to be equal to 3n minus 10. And we just have to solve for n now. So I'm going to get n on the same side. I'm going to take it from the left. That way that'll keep the n's positive. And I'm going to end up getting 6 is equal to 2n minus 10. Then I need to add 10 to both sides. Remember, we're working away from the variable, trying to get the variable by itself. We end up getting 16 is equal to 2n. Finally, divide by 2 since those are being multiplied, and we end up getting 8 is equal to n. Okay? We found what n is equal to, but remember the question is asking what are the lengths of the sides, which means that we have to go back in and we have to plug 8 in for n and solve. And we can do that to either one of the equations. It should come out to be the same. So we have f of n is equal to n plus 6. We also have, we'll call this g of n is equal to 3n minus 10. And if we go ahead and plug in 8 for n on both of these equations, we should see that we get the same answer. We see 8 plus 6 is 14. G of 8 is equal to 3 times 8 minus 10. That equals 24 minus 10, which just equals 14. So the value, or what are the lengths of the sides? It would be 14 inches. And you don't have to do it with both of those. I just did it with both of those to show you guys how that worked. Okay, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.